AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin. Evan T. Mack is out. Definitely hit him up on Twitter and Instagram, show him some love. But that's not going to stop us from having an amazing show and having an amazing guest. She is a professional wrestler and a self-proclaimed last Egyptian queen. Please welcome Sahara Se7en. How are you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm good.
So tell me.
My voice is a little shot, so I do apologize.
No problem. So tell me, how did you get to this type of voice? Like, what happened?
Okay, long story short, where I live at, we had a first ever Coachella-like festival in my town, and I had the honor of one of my jobs that I do. I bartend at night. So my bar was chosen to be VIP for the likes of Jay-Z, Pharrell, things like that. So all weekend long, this 3-day, concert, I'm working, screaming over fans, ordering drinks, Basically, I lost my voice as I was trying to hear people giving them their drink orders.
Gotcha.
It was a lot. And then I also might have snuck off 1 or 2 times to go see a couple of the acts and scream. So
what festival was this?
I lost my voice.
What was it called?
It's called the Something in the Water Festival by Pharrell Williams.
Oh, nice.
It was in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I did see some Instagram stuff because was that the weekend? Is it the same weekend as the Broccoli Fest? I think so.
Yes, it is the same weekend as Broccoli Fest.
So I did see some posts about it. All right. Well, tell us about how you got your name.
Well, the name Sahara came from my grandmother. She originally wanted to name me that because we are originally, African bloodline from Alexandria. And so it's 30 minutes outside of Cairo. So she just wanted to name me Sahara, like the Sahara Desert. And she always says, even beautiful flowers grow in the Sahara Desert, in those extreme conditions. So she was saying that basically I'm a beautiful flower and I can grow in these extreme conditions, in this world. So she gave me Sahara. So I was like, that's going to be my banger, Mom.
Right. And then the 7?
7. Long story short, I played basketball and soccer in college. My number was 7. My dad's football number was 7. My mom's track number was 7. My sister's track number was 7. My line number when I crossed in my sorority was 7. My brother's line number is 7.
What sorority do you belong to?
Delta Sigma Theta.
Okay, nice. All right. Okay, I could see now. Now it's all coming together. So tell me, you what got you into wrestling?
What got me into wrestling was I always loved wrestling from a young child all the way until I was almost a grown adult. And my Uncle Ricky, he was one of the people who got me into wrestling because I would spend some summers up here in Cleveland, Ohio, and he would always cook an immaculate dinner, and everyone would huddle around, the table, and then everybody would huddle around the TV afterwards, and we would all watch the pick of the day. Somebody would pick what show we were watching. Well, my uncle always picked wrestling, and it was just I wanted to watch it so bad because it was so entertaining. It had everything: drama, suspense, violence, everything, sometimes blood. I just wanted to be a part of that. So after I, went to college, got my degree and everything like that, I was just I'm tired of doing the norm of what everybody else wanted me to do, because if you let my dad tell it, I was going to be the next Mia Hamm playing soccer in some foreign country. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a wrestler, so I literally was sitting in my dorm room my last year, and I was some promotion. I don't remember the name of it because it closed down, but came on my TV late at night, and they had this commercial about, you want to be a pro wrestler, call this number. So I called, and of course they were closed that night. But then the next day I got up, I called, and they were just come down for, your paid trial and da-da-da-da. So I came, and they told me, you wouldn't even make it past, day 6. And then boom, 8 months later, boom, I'm the first girl to graduate in 8 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah.
And that was back in
Thank
2015,
you.
right?
I'm sorry, you
Was that
said
back in 2015 or
in what year?
2014?
Yes, 2015.
All right, so you've been
Uh,
putting in some work. So
yes,
what were the
ma'am.
things? So when you started wrestling, actually before you had your first match, what did you expect, and what was surprising?
Before I had my first match, what
Yeah.
did I expect? I expected, like, first of all, I expected no one to cheer for me at all whatsoever because no one had knew me. Like, I was this trainee, fresh out of, like, training class. I expected it to be, like, I don't know. I didn't expect it to be as, like, noisy as it was, like, as adrenaline pumped as it was because you can practice all you want to, but you never know how it's going to actually go.
Right.
So how it went for me was completely different than how we, like, talked about it in school. You were like, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. And you're just like, wow, spotlight's on me. Deer in headlights moment. Got to snap out of that, you know?
Right.
It didn't go as planned, I should say, like as I imagined my grand debut would go.
Mm-hmm.
But I wrestled a dude. So, I mean, I was like, you know what? I'm doing, better than most of the chicks that I've seen. They debut and they get to debut with their best friend that they've been through training school with their whole entire lives. Not
Right.
knocking that, but I didn't have anybody. I had dudes. So, I mean, I got my butt kicked, and I was proud of it. I got my butt kicked, and I was proud. So to me, it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, it didn't go exactly the way I pictured it in my head, but it didn't disappoint me, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always the adage of, like, the work that you put in before you hit the stage. It's like muscle memory, right? So, you have to start someplace. You can't start off perfect, else we'd all be perfect, right? So we good.
Right. And
So
like my son used to say, if it was so easy, everybody could do it, right?
yeah, that's with everything, for sure. So what are the positives and negatives about wrestling, do you find?
Positives, you get to meet so many different people from different places. You get to travel all these different places and learn these, different cultures and experience different things. Like, the negative side of that is there's so many cliques in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people who are just not in the business for the right reasons. They see this as a stepping stone versus people who actually put their heart and soul into this. I mean, i.e. me.
Mm-hmm.
I put my heart and soul into it. I believe everything that I do. I believe that this was predestined for me, And so there's a lot of people who aren't like that. People who think that this is just temporary. Oh, this is something just for fun. Like, no, this is not something for fun. You actually have people's lives in your hands, so kind of take this seriously,
Yeah.
So that's the only
who, like,
downfall
live and
that
breathe
I see. And it's like a lot of cliques, a lot of, undermining each other when you should just be trying to band together and help each other up. Because, everybody can achieve success and everybody can share in the wealth. Everybody can be great. We can all learn from each other if we just took the time to band together instead of trying to fight each other.
Oh, I like that. Oh, we have to clip that out of the show and put that. That says it all. Now, according to you, one of your highlights of your wrestling career was your 2-week tour in Canada for the CWE Girls Tour. How was that experience?
That was the coldest weather I have ever seen in my life. Step one. Step two, some of them girls up there are, like, really, really talented, and, like, they really, at that time, they really helped me step my game up. I thought I was doing, good,
Mm-hmm.
for a girl around my area. But when I branched out, I was like, okay, I need to step it up. They showed me, what it was like to go to that next level, to step it up and, like, branch out. So honestly, I owe them girls in that tour a lot. Also, I met one of my closest and bestest girlfriends and my sister, Aja Pereira, out there. And
Okay.
I've, like, when I said earlier, you make some really good friends, like, in the wrestling business. That's one of the positives. I've met, like, some sisters along the way. I've been friends with her for, like, 5 years now?
Okay.
And, like, it's just one of those things where I branched out, and it showed me, hey, there's another level, and then there's another level after this, and there's another level after that. You just got to continue to level up.
And now, where else do you want to travel to, and where else have you been?
Well, I just came back from Japan not too long ago. Actually, it's my 1-year anniversary from being in Japan.
Nice.
I trained in Marvelous Dojo, Marvelous Women's Pro, under Chiguzu Nagaya-san. And I planning to go to Mexico very soon here in the summer. And I'm trying to get my hands on England. I want to go to England so bad. Go over there and, kick some faces in England, France. I want to do it all. Ireland. If you really want me to be 100% honest, one of my goals is I really want to go back, to Africa and wrestle in front of my people and show them that, we can do so much more than what they paint the picture of us on CNN and, and it's a third world country and it's not, some places are like that, but everyone's like that, and you're not condemned like to just being that picture, that stereotype. You can be so much more.
Now that you say that, it's really interesting. Is there a wrestling community in different countries in Africa that you know of?
Well, I know there's a very big one in South Africa.
Okay.
Cape Henry has a very big one in South Africa. There's certain places in Nigeria. Nigeria has a very small promotion. I actually keep in contact with them. They're changing their name, so now it's going to be Pan Africa something. But I keep in contact with their promoter because he found me by chance when I was searching African wrestlers.
Okay.
And so he found me by searching African wrestlers, and then he kept in contact with me, and he kept asking me, well, what do they do over here different than what we have over here, and how can this, that, and third? And eventually he wants it to where he can get it to where he can invite people like me, myself, like a couple other people over to perform there, along with their trainees as well, because they're still growing. They're still growing, and I'm so happy that they're growing.
Yeah,
I'm happy that it's spreading out there.
Yeah,
I couldn't be more elated that, they're trying to grow a small little, mustard seed into this big, beautiful plant.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you talk about, wrestling in different countries, Africa hasn't come up. So it's interesting to know that there are promotions out there. Now, speaking about, almost like the Black experience as far as being Black and a wrestler, I saw that you went to WrestleMania and you saw Kofi Kingston win his belt. What was that feeling like?
Oh, my God, I cried. I genuinely, as an African American woman, and so many of us back there, in the back at WrestleMania, we were all literally holding hands, watching the screen, watching the Tron, holding hands with each other. You would think we were at church on Sunday, holding hands, literally biting our nails, sitting there. And then when that final 3 count hit, the tears, people were falling out on the floor crying. You did it. We did it. This is our time. This is it. It's just so indescribable. I still even get emotional sometimes because I think about all the people who came before us that, that were here and that were part of this business, but did not achieve such great heights as they knew they could because it wasn't there. It wasn't an opportunity yet. It wasn't the time, the place, whatever they want to blame it on. It just wasn't there for us. And now that that time and that space and that opportunity has been created, in a Black man, a son of Africa, has done it and has been there to the top of the mountain and is preaching that you can do it too. That is just a whole different experience. That's a whole different. I just felt my whole soul leave my body. I felt my whole soul leave my body. I was like, if this is what pure happiness and pure love feels like, I need this 24/7.
Yeah, it's crazy because I talked to some people who don't follow wrestling closely. They just kind of know. And Kofi winning wasn't a Ronda Rousey experience to mainstream media. But folks who don't really watch wrestling, those are the people who came to me and were talking about, oh yeah, this Kofi guy, he won, and they were just double checking. So it's crazy that it was impactful, not necessarily in a mainstream media way, but it's impactful for a whole community that may or may not watch wrestling. So they actually might have brought more people into watching WWE. So that was a huge thing. So definitely like that experience as well. Now
yes, and he didn't. I'm sorry.
No worries. What were you going to say?
I was going to say he didn't just do, I don't want everybody to think I'm just saying that it was only for this moment. It was only for, Black people, Black wrestlers or Black workers. No, he literally did this for, Asians, brown, white,
Minorities.
purple, green, like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like he transcended that moment for everyone. Everyone.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
everyone. There's people of all different colors back there rooting for him.
yeah, well,
All different colors rooting for him.
yeah, you saw Kevin Owens, I think, in this recent SmackDown that was, pretty much reiterating what Vince McMahon was saying, how, he doesn't look like the stereotypical type wrestler. He's not the size. He does, so it's definitely that underdog type thing. So beyond, the black experience, like, definitely he's for everyone who wants to become a wrestler, but they might not think they fit the mold. So definitely that's for sure. What are your goals as far as wrestling? So you've been in the game for about 4 or 5 years now. So what's the game plan?
To be honest, my biggest goal was always to go wrestle in Japan. And now that I've done that, I'm like, I just think that now, like, there is no limit for me. Like, there's no glass ceiling. I can do whatever. So I'm now setting my sights on. I'm coming for you, AAA. If you're hearing this, I'm coming for you.
Okay.
I'm have my sights set on, getting into AAA, definitely doing some work with AAA, and then hopefully, WWE. Everybody says WWE first, but I need to make sure myself, season myself so I'm ready.
Right.
And if I'm ready now, if the higher power deems that I'm ready now, then I'll go now. But for me, I genuinely think that, next step for me is to keep getting my name out there, keep doing what I'm doing, keep being the international face kicker I am. And that means I have to keep going to different countries. So I definitely have my sights set right now on going to Mexico, definitely going to perform with those amazing performers in AAA, and then furthering my career, and who knows, might pop up in Impact, might pop up in WWE, AEW, definitely wide open as well. Like, a lot of my friends are there. I'm kind of happy and glad that we have another place to go. Like, just keep them going, keep them popping up. I'm down and available to go to all.
And now, dream matches? Who would you like to have some matches against?
I got to check off one off my checklist. I got to wrestle Lisa Marie Varon, a.k.a. Victoria.
Nice.
She was my go-to, and back in the day, she is my Shiro. And I would also like to wrestle Lita. Okay. I love her. I would love to wrestle Aja Kong. Absolutely. I would love to wrestle Io, but she's currently in WWE.
Yeah.
I would love to wrestle Lady Apache and Fabi Apache from AAA. Laedra from AAA. I have so many. Lady Shani. Most of these are indie girls that I love. They're in Mexico. Kelly Klein. I love her. Oh yeah, adore she's her. Awesome. I want to wrestle her so bad. Brandy Rhodes. Boss chick in charge. I love her. I want to wrestle Nyla again. Nyla Rose. Okay. My roll dog. I want to wrestle her again. Let's see, who else? I think I'm missing a couple, but definitely I want to wrestle. I want to wrestle my senpai in an actual match. I want to wrestle my senpai Chigusa Nagaya-san in a Japanese explosion match. I would love to wrestle her.
You know what you should do? Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name now. It will. Ruby Rise. She actually put a list of everybody she wanted to wrestle, and then she took a picture of it and then put it on Twitter. And then those matches, I think she was down by 1, but she ended up doing all those matches within a year. So, I mean, if you put it out there, it can just all happen for you. So just letting you know. Now, wrestling has evolved for women. Where do you see women's wrestling in the next couple of years?
I see women's wrestling in the next couple of years being just as big as the men. And who knows? I honestly, I really do see that there being an all-females wrestling show televised nationally. I see that coming. I see it. There's too many talented women just for you to keep putting us on a show with the men and only giving us 3 hours and then trying to fit all these women's storylines in when the storylines for women are just as entertaining as the ones for men.
Yeah.
So I see it in the next couple of years. I see it with its own nationally, publicly syndicated show, just going, from everywhere, just as big, maybe WWE will do it. I'm pretty sure they probably will. or, you know, TNA, whoever. I commend whoever does it, but that's where I see it, having its own show, being its own entity, and then just being just as much as a gold standard as the men. I really do. I see a future, and the future is female.
For real. All right. So we're going to get into rapid hot tags. So that means I'm going to throw
Women's
you some,
Wrestling Rapid Hot Tags.
I'm going to throw you some questions. You're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind. So always early or always late?
I'm always early.
Last person you text?
I would say early. Oh, last person I texted was my boo.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
Oh, my God. I love my sense of humor.
Dream dinner guest?
Oh, my God. My dream dinner guest is Razor Ramon.
Oh, nice. Favorite wrestler?
Razor Ramon.
Last show you binge watched?
Oh, my God. The originals.
If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Oh, my God. I would be like teal blue.
Okay. If you were to listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, God. Prince. It would either be a Prince, Purple Rain, or Michael Jackson, the Bad Album.
All right. Calm down. Just to see you made it through. You made it through. Everything's good. Now,
I was like, oh, that's hard.
Now, where can people find you?
Tell me they were gonna be hard.
I mean, it's rapid fire. It makes you. And actually, those questions, because somebody turned it on me one time, and it makes you think. Because you never think about stuff like that, and it makes you think like, oh, okay, this is the type of person I am, or this is what I gravitate towards. Now, where can people find you on Twitter and Instagram?
On Instagram, it is Sahara, and then THE, and then the number 7, and then TH. So it spells out Sahara the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Twitter, you can find me symbol, and then Sahara _ 007, so Sahara 007.
Boom.
And then on Facebook, you can find me under Sahara Se7en.
All right. And now, any matches coming up?
Yes, I have another bout for Phoenix Pro for the La Femme Women's Championship. You know, I'm the current reigning defending, and it'll be against Casey Dillon on May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you. Huge Star Wars reference there. And then I'm not quite sure on the Mexico dates, but I will be going to Lucha Libre Femil in Monterrey, Mexico, very soon in June. And trying to think of where else I'll be. I'll be at Eclipse Wrestling, June the 22nd. I have dates all over the place. I
know,
can't
you're
remember
booked
them by
and
heart.
busy. I like it. So y'all make sure.
Post them.
No, yeah, I love it. And actually, shout out to Black Wrestling Alliance, because they're the ones who put you out there, and that's how, you know, it's like, oh, we need to get her on the show. So shout out to them. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Oh yeah, they're amazing. Really great content. I really appreciate you for coming on the show. If you're ever in LA, you are more than welcome to come on the show. And then anytime you want to like talk about anything, you are more than welcome to come on as well. Any news, or you know, you're traveling to Mexico or you're taking over the world, you know, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. You guys are so fun.
No problem.
And I wish you all the best of luck. And congratulations on making this show. I've seen it so many times, like you said, on Black Wrestling Alliance. This show is actually really, really dope, and I'm glad that you guys are around.
Thank you so much. So now you guys, if you guys want to follow us, you can follow us on IG at WPW Weekly. You can follow us on Twitter at WPW Weekly. Definitely, if you're watching us on AfterBuzz on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. And then if you are listening to us on iTunes, give us 5 stars or better, and also on Spotify as well. Just send us some comments your way. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can find my co-host, Evan T. Mack, at Evan T. Mack on IG and Twitter. Other than that, we are so thankful for you guys watching us every single week. If there are any wrestlers that you guys want us to cover, please send it our way. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Ciao.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. We ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.